was brought to my attention by an associate of mine working on a pretty big Fallout mod I think people are going to enjoy when it comes out. In fact, I think it'll be more enjoyable than Fallout 76. But anyway, while talking to me, he made it known to me about another Bethesda mod. One that's kind of sad. And that's the Sentinel Control System Companion. You could buy it now for 700 credits. That's like $7 last I recall. I refuse to pay for this mod. Therefore, I can't do a comparison because I'm not going to pay Bethesda. And this is a Bethesda Creation Club mod, by the way, from the company themselves. Before the Great War, the geniuses at West Tech and General Atomics International had an idea. What if they could combine the ability of mods and getting paid for them and ripping off their entire user base?
All of this just works.
No, Gundam, this is great for the consumer. Yes, exactly. Paying for shit that you could get for free and that has more love. Now, what's weird about this mod is it just came out, therefore it's new, but it's not exactly new. If you do any digging or looking, you'll find that there have been power armor companions on the Nexus since the beginning. Now, some might argue that Bethesda did this because on the normal console version you can't have companions, but if you're using mods, I'm pretty sure the companion mod framework is something you can use on a console, so it's kind of a moot point. This mod was made so people will be able to use Dogmeat and another companion, whereas to all the older Fallouts, if you remember, like Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas especially, you could use Dogmeat and a human companion. I've seen some clips of this mod and the work done to it is meh. You know, it's like the bare minimum. They didn't bother to do any new voice acting work for it. Once again, you might argue the reason why they don't use any new voice work for the companion mod of a power armor is because audiophiles and console gamers only having so much space. So they reuse some old voice work from, you know, Mr. Gutsy or the Sentry bot. And I roll my eyes at this. Patriot Power Armor Companion by Vicioris. This one is actually pretty legit. Upon looking deeper, I'd also say that the quest involved in this is superior to what Bethesda's offering has to give you. The Vicioris mod leads you back to the glowing sea after you receive a transmission via radio waves. They even bothered to do voice work for this, even though it just sounds like that Google robot voice that most people use. When I was in the kitchen kind of thing. But remember, Bethesda didn't even bother to do that, which then gives you a small quest with a voiced companion that happens to be a power armor. Think a Knight Rider with a gun and the ability to crush your esophagus. But then again, if the Knight Rider Trans Am drove over your neck, it would crush your esophagus. But this one has the ability to grab you. Let's not even think about David Hasselhoff. Never hassled a Hoff. I find this mod to be superior to what Bethesda has to offer, in my personal opinion. The other power armor that came out before this one was Power Armor Autopilot by Kentington. Another great mod that gives you the ability to have a companion power armor that is unmanned, so think robot. I don't know if it has any voice work with it. I'm kind of doubting it. It has the ability to let you throw some grenades and call in a power armor a la Iron Man when he falls out of the sky and then lands and throws his fist in the ground. You know that superhero pose everybody does now? If I was going to do a superhero pose, I fall directly on the ground and look like I meant to fall, and then I dust myself off and have a drink of gin. That sounds like a movie that kids would love today. Now, I'm only making this video to point out the fact that Bethesda is bankrupt of ideas. If you remember, around a year ago, last year in fact almost, around August, the Hellfire X03 Power Armor came out. And what does Bethesda do? They make their own version that's not as good as the modded version. And it's fucking pathetic. We also have the Chinese stealth suit that's not on par with the mod version. And all I think is, what is Bethesda doing at this point? I mean, really, it's just like, oh, the modders came up with something, copy paste, throw it on here. It's $7 now. Pay for it, scrubs. And people do it. And frankly, I'm not one of those YouTubers that are in good with the mod community in the sense of I'm not one of the guys that's willing to just constantly overlook what Bethesda's doing and go, it's fine, it's consumerism, we have choice. Yeah, I guess you could look at it that way, but is it really great consumerism if someone's going to sell you a subpar product and want you to pay for it when a modder is right next to you doing it for free and you have the option to pay them? I'd much rather give money to modders. And by the way, you can do so. If you go on the Nexus, you can donate money and they will distribute it out to modders. It's a pretty cool thing. Also, supporting the site isn't bad either. I'd much rather my money go here than another cent go to Bethesda to give me some subpar piece of shit. And let's not forget how many times they've taken ideas from modders with little to no credit. And I understand that some modders want to just let it slide because you hope one day Todd Howard's going to come to your house, wink at you and say, it just works, you're in. And really, would it matter? I mean, yeah, it would probably be a great opportunity for someone to actually get into the game development business and actually turn it into a career and make some money. But let's face it, if you're going to be part of the soulless corporate machine, I don't see it as something that's going to expand your creativity. I mean, let's look at Destiny 2. The guy who worked in Falscar is working for Bungie. Can you tell? I certainly can't. It seems like the same soulless AAA shit I'm used to. Fucking A. Bethesda just twists my gears. And that's the New York Minute. I tried to do this video as quickly as possible. I apologize for not doing comparison videos. Like I said, in order to do a comparison video fully, I would have to be able to have access to this mod, which I don't because I'm not paying Bethesda.
If I were human, I believe my response would be, go to hell. If I were human.
And watching videos on YouTube probably isn't going to give me the full gist. Even though, from what I can tell, there ain't much meat on that bone, if you know what I'm saying. As always, rate, comment, subscribe if you so choose to. If not, to hell with it. I can't ask anyone to give more of a shit than me in the age of apathy. But if you do, it only makes my voice louder and bigger in a community full of people who are turning into yes men, politically correct all the time, and so on and so forth. The only social justice I want to see is in my life, when I can get higher in the social status and maybe meet women that aren't telling me to send them payments via Vimo on Tinder. Go to hell. How dare you, madam? At least make a YouTube video before you demand people pay you for it. It's the least you could do. And on that note, I do have a Patreon. But I'm not going to sit there and tell you, if you like what I'm doing, support me on Patreon, because it's a dick move. I'm not going to sit here and tell you to support me on Patreon if you like what I'm doing. It goes without saying. If you want to give something, do it. It's just like mods, dude. It's like with the modders. Maybe you don't have the fucking money, and that's fine by me. The fact you checked it out is good enough. And that's the point I'm making.